Hey, welcome to a new Triggre Weekend Masterclass. And in this masterclass, I'm going to show you something which, well, you might or might not have encountered yet. But when you do, well, the first time that I encountered it, it was kind of puzzling to me. So let me explain you what happened. And, well, technically you can't prevent it, but I hope this video helps you when you come into this situation that you remember this video and you're like, this is what's going on. So what do we have? We have the following situation. As you can see here, we have two numbers that you can fill out in your page. One can be empty and one cannot be empty because, as you can see, it's mandatory. It's a required field. So what's the situation that I'm talking about? Let me guide you through the designer and show you what I'm talking about. So we have the user flow here, and what we have here is the page. As you can see, this one can be empty and this one cannot be empty. And sometimes you would like to check, for instance, a decision or something else within this user flow, that the form field that you are referring to, if it's empty or not. So in this case, I have a decision where I check if one of the items can be empty. So I have this one over here where I state the item that can be empty is empty, and if that's the case, then we go to something, and if that's not the case, we go into the false branch and actually I would like to add another decision, and that decision is going to be the same filter or the same decision. However, then it's going to be based on the item that cannot be empty. And what happens is the following. So if I would add another decision, I can of course select the form field, can't be empty. And what I would like to do is check if it's empty, yes or no. So if I would say equals, and I would add this item, as you can see, I cannot select the value empty. And sometimes this is a little bit puzzling because, you're like, I can select empty all the time. Why can't I select it? And the reason is that Triggre understands like, hey, this value is required, so it is impossible to be empty. So why should I show you that option? Because it's impossible to be empty at this point in the user flow. And that's why you won't see it. So every time you're like, hey, why don't I see the other part of the filter to be empty? Please remember this, maybe your form field is required. And I will show you that that's actually the case. So first I'm going to create a specific value to complete this decision. Okay, I'm going to call it test to show you the difference if it's not required. So I go to this page, can't be empty. Well, I'm going to make sure that it can be empty right now because it's not required. Okay. And if I would go to test right now and I would remove this filter, there you go. I would state the can't be empty item, which obviously now can be empty, is empty. And there you go. Now it's selectable and you can use it. Did you like this video already? What are you waiting for? Oh, and while you're at it, might as well subscribe to our channel. See you next week.